I was getting a little worried, man, but you guys are keeping me on my feet. Like, everybody just waits to submit until, like, right before the show happens, which makes sense, because you're like, oh, yeah, the ToothAndTailTV is going live tonight. Oh, crap, let me submit a replay real quick, which totally works. I'm glad we got there. Definitely need some stuff for Thursday night, man, so don't hold back. Get some submissions sent my way. All right, guys, let's hop into it. Match number 1 here. I like starting out with Vincent and Bratmo. It's almost like a tradition at this point. In the bottom, we've got Vincent. And his opponent up top, Bratmo. Alright, let me check my levels. For one, Vincent's deck is absolutely hilarious. Every tier 1 you could possibly take. And some mines to be annoying. I love it. I was going to check my levels, but I think we're going to have some action here. To be fair, the one with Dino happened like an hour ago. Yeah, I'm sure that happens a lot. Like, it might be cool because, you know, Liquor normally streams kind of like right before my show starts and then raids me, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of games that he submits where if you stick around and watch, you're like, okay, I saw that game from Miss Clicker's perspective and now I'm going to see it, you know, like actually casted. Might be pretty interesting. A little bit of mole shenanigans up front in this game. Bratmo gets his mole out alive, so he's got to be happy about that. And overall, yeah, good hold there for Bratmo. He's got to be feeling happy. He might be a little nervous here throwing down that second mole. So it's distracted by the chat, and everyone's talking about what color Ghost FTW is. I always pictured like the bright green neon Scooby-Doo ghost. You know what I mean? That's actually like some kind of projector that got put forth by some high school gym teacher. Isn't that how it always worked in Scooby-Doo? But yeah, I mean, Bratmo is kind of correct here, as the mole aggression is not let up by Vincent. He kind of took a break. He went home and got his economy up and running. But pigeon first here for Bratmo, man. Didn't we see these guys do the pigeon first thing beforehand? Who was it? No, it was Premium Bow in a 1v1. That's right. He tried to do like a mole rush with some pigeons, and he could have got away with it if I feel like if his pigeons were there in time. Maybe if he built that warren like right on the edge of his territory or something. So, dude, pigeon mole. I'm excited. I don't know if I approve of this, but I like it. I love it. Ooh, dude, those pigeons healing that mole are actually making a big difference in that fight. Now Bratmo is pushing in. Maybe they're onto something here, because Vincent's going for the same thing, man. What's better than a mole? I guess a mole with some healing. Dude, pigeon mole is amazing. I don't know what I was talking about earlier. I'm totally on board for pigeon mole, you guys. Now that's got to be my next challenge when I'm laddering. All right, it looks like my voice might be too loud, but I know it's always better if I am louder than the game. So I turn myself down just a little bit. If the game volume becomes overbearing, please let me know in that chat. And I would have gotten away with it too. Work those pesky kids in their mole. It would be a mole, right? Like if Scooby-Doo was a Tooth and Tail character, animal I should say. We don't have any dogs. We have Wolf, right? I guess that's close. I don't know. Wolves and dogs are really different. Fun fact, like wild wolves and domestic dogs actually split like on their evolution, on the genetics. So, but cats didn't, right? So that's why you can take like a house cat as long as they're not out of shape, and just like throw it out in the woods, and they actually still have all their instincts and they'll kick in. And that's why you see like big cheetahs and lions doing silly stuff like house cats do, like sit in boxes and whatnot, you know, because they have the same brain, same genetic makeup for the most part, whereas wolves and domestic dogs, your little chihuahuas and whatnot, are radically different. A little fun fact, don't say I never taught you anything until somebody in the chat like looks it up and they're like, no dude, you were totally wrong about that. What are you talking about? Listen, I read a Wikipedia article once, right? And I believed it. Why would you throw your kitty out to the woods? It sounds like I just walked away from the mic. Darn it. Okay. Okay. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll turn it back. Turn it back up just a little bit. I know, right? I'm not trying to justify getting rid of your cat. Attack coming in here from Vincent with a lot of moles, and the moles to defend for Bratmo here. But Bratmo actually did some crazy stuff while I was talking about Scooby-Doos and cats and dogs. He went for double balloon and an owl warren. And I don't even know anymore. Like, Bratmo looks like he's in great shape. I don't think Vincent's squirrels would get up in time, right? Vincent, Bratmo should really just attack in right now. And Vincent knows it too. Like, he's trying to build up a lot of tier 1. Typically, tier 1 are always kind of a good answer when you're in a hard spot because you can get them out so quickly, right? But look at what Vincent did. I mean, he invested a lot into those early moles. He got up to that 2 base economy, just half saturated, so nothing super crazy. And the big investment Bratmo did instead was this 1 base style, right? Like, you'd be surprised, man. I mean, look at this. He's been able to afford, you know, 3 owl warrens. Gonna get up to 2 owls here. Maybe even be able to afford a 3 technically if you think about it. A couple balloons, like 1 base worth of food is actually quite a lot. So we'll see often 1 base strategies can get in there and break the back of somebody trying to macro up. But all this tier 1 and the superior economy here from Vincent might be enough. These moles are doing a great job tanking on the front lines, but that owl's gonna have to hold on for a second if she wants to be useful again. Hey, thanks for the follow, Bartek13. I appreciate it, man. Dude, this game is nuts. This is why I like starting things off with Vincent and Bratmo, man. They always do some crazy stuff. Ooh, the owl goes down. Yeah, Vincent's just gonna take it. Nice, now, it's kind of hard to say, like, nice response to the owl, because, I mean, a lot of action happened earlier on, right? And there were, but the big story here is also how long Vincent has had that economic advantage. Bratmo probably had a window if the game was a bit different, where he could have attacked in with that big mole army and punished his opponent for going for a fast second base. But yeah, impressively, Vincent, man, just going back to basics, saying, you know what, man, you're going to mess around getting a tier 3, getting a bunch of balloons and stuff. I'm just going to overrun you with tier 1. Because Bratmo really didn't have any tier 1 in that army besides his moles and pigeons, which you need more than that, man. You need that kind of bread and butter squirrel lizards on the front line to tank some damage. Dude, squirrels are strong, man. Okay, what do we got next? We're going to get into some gentleman action here in match number 2. Okay, spawning up top, we've got Chip from space. And his opponent to the south, the gentleman. Now, this deck from Chip here is, I mean, with some slight modifications, arguably one of the strongest decks you can run at the moment. If you're really wanting to try hard and play super serious, doing a split like what Chip is doing is very strong. You kind of substitute out the Badger for Owl. You know, substitute the Falcon for Ferret. Make kind of minor adjustments like that, but overall having that like Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk, Balloon, and plus you know, a top tier 3 is pretty good at the moment. So meanwhile, the gentleman is actually running a hardcore tier 1, tier 2 strike force kind of setup. I imagine he's gonna move out perhaps with some skunks. This might not be the, well, actually this map's kind of weird for both players. I like it better for Chip here, as you know, really the gentleman's gonna have to get out on the map super hard to even take an expansion base here, or try to slip a quick one on Chip and maybe try to steal one. But Chip is normally pretty good about his scouting, so it's gonna be difficult. Now the gentleman knows what kind of predicament he's in, so I'm really interested to see how the gentleman is gonna deal with this game, to be honest, because this is a hard situation, man, when you spawn onto a map that is very favored for your opponent. Now, the gentleman does have a couple good things going for him in the early game here. He does have that campfire, which is going to be a nice boost for tier 1, maybe a couple tier 2 all-in style aggression here. So, but on the same time, I feel like the gentleman's kind of got 1 or 2 big struggles to deal with here. You know, it's either option A, where he really has to get out on the map early on and either snag the left side or snag the right side to try to take this into a macro game, which is not ideal because then you're really spread out. You know, by the time, if your army's over here, you know, by the time that you realize Chip is coming in this way, it's almost too late. And that's why you'll see in instances like that, a lot of people will instead opt to go for a base race scenario. Now, option B that the gentleman has here is he can utilize this campfire in the early game to try to get very aggressive and to try to punish Chip if Chip tries to expand. Now, granted, keep in mind, guys, this isn't like an amazing map for Chip. Like, Chip's second base is going to be pretty spread out, right? But the map does look much better. Like, if the game just kind of progresses and we have this gentleman's agreement type thing where we're both going to try to macro up, it would eventually favor Chip. But I think that this map is not the worst thing in the world for the gentleman, because the gentleman's deck here, it's not like gentleman has that owl balloon strategy. I feel like he would be really in a hard spot if that's what he went for here in his deck selection, right? Because the goal of that is to try to hunker down behind 3 or 4 bases. Imagine if they're all right here, you know, and really try to get to that late game. Instead, the gentleman does have a pretty strong mid-game setup here in his composition. So you can see he's kind of going for the cavalcade of tier 2. He wants to get a little bit of everything, and then he's going to try to push out. And like, I feel like the timing is when Chip starts saturating the space, right? Like right after Chip invests in 4 or 5 farms here, or maybe Chip throws down a Badger, something like that is really the opportune time to strike. But it can be difficult to figure that out, right? I don't blame the gentleman for just trying to move in right here, right now. He does confirm, okay, Chip is trying to macro up, but I absolutely cannot let that happen. So here comes the gentleman, man. He's going to have the ferrets here to poke that gristmill from a distance. Nice sell-off on those farms, by the way, from Chip. Chip realizes the gentleman's not just going to sit back and let him get a base advantage here. And these ferrets really force Chip to commit to this engagement. So let's see how the target fire and the compositions go down. So far, so good. Both players trying to target fire down key tier 2 of their opponents. It looks like Chip actually took a better trade for himself. At least that's what it looked like. Maybe gentleman didn't have all of his units produced. I knew he lost at least a ferret and a skunk, and he got a skunk of his opponent. But now, gentleman's got, yeah, he must have won that earlier engagement. I apologize. I probably just missed a couple extra tier 2 going down from Chip. But yeah, now gentleman's got some momentum. He knocks down this gristmill, which is nice. And now does he continue the engagement? He really doesn't want to be stuck trying to retreat in a bad situation. But Chip, he's going to go ahead and do that. I think he's kind of mission accomplished there for a moment for the gentleman. You know, he denied Chip from expanding. He said, no, man, we're going to play this on 1 base, which, keep in mind, that 1 base is going to favor the gentleman because he does have that extra campfire here. Chip is going to push in for the counterattack, maybe feeling pretty froggy after, you know, winning on that retreat. And here we go. The big engagement comes in. Chip target firing down that snake very quickly. The gentleman's target firing was kind of lax at the beginning of that fight. He was running his commander behind his army. I'm not sure if he was trying to micro. Yeah, he must have been trying to micro his snake, as you just saw him do there. Keep those alive. But overall, I mean, I feel like the gentleman's in the better spot here. I feel like the gentleman might have taken the better end, yeah, of a couple of those fights there. But the big differentiator, again, is this campfire, man. Now the gentleman's going to go ahead and try to take this 3 o'clock. Now that the focus is here. And it doesn't look like Chip is going for an expand. Chip just wants to end the game right here, right now. You know, Chip has actually been doing really good if you look at the army graphs. Like, keep in mind that gentleman's had that campfire up on economy, you know, for quite some time. So the trades here from Chip have been great. Chip's micro in these fights have been very on point. I think he's kind of won that war a little bit against the gentleman, but gentleman's no slouch with his micro either, so overall pretty close. Now, ooh, this is getting worrisome for Chip a little bit. Gentleman didn't go too hard on that base. I like that a lot. But Chip kind of has to win the game right now. I don't think he expects that base at the 3 o'clock. It's going to be hard for Chip to even run over there and scout that. And Chip kind of put all of his eggs in the basket of winning this game on 1 base after gentleman kind of forced it into that position. He's going to move in. It looks like he's breaking the gentleman. Gentleman doesn't have much left at all. He's got a few key units that he can micro very handsomely here. He's got just a single skunk and a single snake, and he's actually taking the hold with some nice terrain there. Really making it difficult for Chip to go forward. And although Chip, I still feel like, won that fight, he's got nothing on the back end of it, man. He's going to try to grab this campfire, but really, I think if Chip ever gets around to scouting the space over here, he'll probably just surrender, I think, right? Because Chip is kind of banking on the gentleman not having anything anymore. But I think Chip should be scouting around for a base soon, because he should realize, you know, gentleman should be starving if I was just starving, right? Like, yeah, Chip, I think he knows about this campfire. Well, he never saw it, but he could assume. But that campfire should be burnt out at this point. So Chip should be suspicious that the gentleman's got something somewhere. But dude, it's hard. Like, Classic Metal historically just beats me like that in games all the time, man. Like, I'll be having a really scrappy game against Classic Metal, and I keep feeling like I'm in the lead, you know, and then he wins, and I'm just like, how, man? And then in one instance, he had a campfire up on me. The other instance, he had like 3 or 4 campfires up on me, and I just didn't. Because it's hard when you get in this position, man. It's a lot easier said than done for me to be like, well, Chip should really go double check these bases. I mean, it's hard to keep that on your mind. It's hard to find the time within the game, even if you do remember it. Here we go. Chip now sees what's up. Does he move over to attack it? No. I was wondering he might just send some Falcons or something like that. So yeah, Chip's actually going to stabilize here. Gentleman is in a better spot, but Chip is not down for the count. He's got 1 farm burning as opposed to Gentleman's 2. And that's going to become 2 in first 3 here shortly. And the army count is pretty similar. Gentleman's just got that extra set of tier 2 units up on Chip for the moment. It isn't a real game without moles. Listen, P-Boop. Hey, what's up, Pancakes? How's it going? Welcome to the chat. Alright, here comes the micro, man. These snakes in good hands and in these small numbers can be absolutely devastating. And so can the skunks, man. Gentleman got enough pre-fight damage there. Like, he already had an army lead from sneaking that 3 o'clock base for a minute anyways, and then he got some nice kind of pre-fight tags, initial gas placement. Chip knew the writing was on the wall and tapped out. All right, I'm excited. We got a lot of great submissions tonight, but we're gonna end it strong, man, with Mishi versus Pyle. That's gonna be a good game. Either Mishi or Pyle, like, you could really expect either one of those guys to come out number 1 in Class S, I feel like. Okay, match number 3. All right, spawning on the left, we've got Swifty. And his opponent to the right, Super Premium. Hey, there you go, Premium Bow. Now we got some moles here from the old Swifty man. I like Swifty a lot. As I've said previously, I feel like we kind of... I feel like my playstyle is more similar to Swifty than anyone else in the scene. Like, oftentimes, I need to actually practice, like, the more meta stuff, because there is a lot of... there's a reason it's meta, right? Like, it's really good. But I've always tried to have my own crazy approach, and I always try to use foxes and ferrets just because I really like utilizing those units. And Swifty's kind of been a similar player. He likes to get out fast foxes. He likes to set up contains with his chameleons. He's been preaching up the set up contains with the ferrets, rather. He's been preaching up the chameleons lately, so I'm interested to see how this goes. I actually don't mind the chameleon pick. It's pretty innovative. I think it gives a deck a lot of flexibility having the chameleons in there. You can set up chameleon traps against your opponent's box. You can do sneak attacks. What I really like about Swifty's deck here is he's got 2 components of it that can do like split push kind of tactics. The chameleons, like, say this campfire gets taken, but Swifty doesn't want to move his army out of position. Hold that thought. Super Premium run around with some super aggression here, and Swifty is none the wiser. He's going to be out of position for it if Super Premium goes in right now. Here he goes. Farm number 1. Farm number 2 goes down for free. What a great trade there for Super. I love seeing stuff like that, man. And it's so annoying. Like, I am so positive Swifty is tilted right now, right? Like, I don't know how emotionally stable he is. I always respect guys that really can keep their cool, that don't get tilted. Because it's a hard thing to do, man, emotionally. I've noticed that a lot, you know, in all aspects of my life. You know, friends, family, professional, like... I just think it's really unattractive when somebody loses their temper very easily, if that makes sense. It just shows lack of emotional maturity to me. But anyways, that's way too deep of a statement to make. The point is, if lizards ran around and killed 2 of my farms, I would get tilted, right? So Swifty can't be happy about that play. Very big pickup there for Super Premium. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like, you know, bases over here, something like that. Swifty can utilize just building a couple moles. I think that's really slick, man. when you build just like a couple moles, you know, outside of your opponent's vision, rally them over there, and then super sick plays, man, you can even distract, right? You can kind of do it one way or the other. Like, you can build the moles to go attack in to get your opponent to move from being in position to being out of position, right, to go deal with the moles, and then you swing in with your army and get a lot of damage done. That's kind of like option A. Or option B is kind of vice versa, where you move in with your main army right after sending the moles over to do a side attack, and then your opponent's so busy dealing with the main attack they can't answer that second one. So little things like that. Mishi actually started coming out with some Tooth and Tail Tactics videos on YouTube. He actually talks about that strategy quite a bit in one of those videos, so check those out, man. I like them a lot, to be honest. I think it's a perfect YouTube kind of setup because they're short, man. Like, YouTube is all about short videos, you know? Like, they're like 5 minutes each. Like, my videos could be like that if I had more time to like split up every replay VOD into individual games, you know, like Swifty versus Super Premium. That'd probably be really good for my channel. I just don't have the time to do it, man. So yeah, I don't feel like videos like mine translate to YouTube as well, where it's like, hey, here's a 2-hour video, you know? Like, it's nice, like, even like really big YouTube guys, for the most part, like my wife is super into Game Grumps, and all their videos are like 10-20 minutes long. That's definitely how you want to do it. Alright, so Super Premium's got the ferret up here. You got the second base. It's looking good for Super Premium, to be honest, and I think Swifty is aware of this. That's why he's building some moles, and Swifty realizes, okay, man, he's got tier 2 on me. He's got the second base on me. I've got to get something done right here, right now. I can't just sit around. So here you go. He's going in for the engagement here. I think Super Premium should be able to hold this off just fine. The mole's doing quite a bit to tank in the mix of this. Yeah, I wonder if Swifty just taps out now. Like, no, he's gonna hold on. The counterattack is coming from Super Premium, though. But maybe with some defender's advantage here, Swifty can hold. Nice target firing down from Super Premium. Very important to do, especially as the aggressor, but in general overall. But Swifty still does hold. Defender's advantage is pretty real. Squirrels don't take that long to build, right? I mean, they're pretty slow units, so you gotta think of like the supply path. You know, they gotta walk all the way over here. Meanwhile, Swifty squirrels just pop right out of the warrens and get right into it. Okay. So Swifty's sticking in. I'm surprised, to be honest. I don't think it's an impossible spot for Swifty. I think it's really smart, though, to be honest. Like, sometimes people can't really seal the deal. Like, they might overextend and you can get back into the game, you know? I used to see that a lot when Mishi started playing. I remember specifically Mishi always really impressed me because he would just come back from spots that just seemed so impossible. He'd be like, all right, Mishi's got to surrender here. And no, he sticks into it, and then 5-6 minutes later, he just comes back and wins. You're like, who is this guy? Dude, there's some good replays, man. Yeah, so Swifty's going to hang in, which I think is the right call. I think if it was me, I would have surrendered after this attack here, but you know, this is a little bit of a lesson in not, you know, giving up too early, man. It is very, very easy in Tooth and Tail to overextend, just because positioning is incredibly important in this game. Defender's advantage is very strong. So there's a lot of weird little things, you know, that could get you back in this game. I mean, imagine, you know, for example, this is later on, and this base was taken by the defender. The aggressor has a superior army and is trying to march through here. Well, if the defender's army is all in position and ready to fire, you know, they might dominate this approaching army because the approaching army is so cluttered up, because they're slowed, walking on the water, a lot of reasons, you know, or something like right here. You could get in a concave versus convex scenario where all the units are choking through here, and that is absolutely a meat grinder, man. But when you are behind, it's kind of weird. You're mainly hoping that your opponent makes a mistake. You're mainly hoping that they attack when they shouldn't and overextend, and you get some value out of defender's advantage, or maybe they miss the window because things matter less and less as the economies grow and the game gets longer in an RTS game. So a big mistake early on, you know, might be huge, but if your opponent doesn't come in and attack and take advantage of it, then later on in the game, it's going to be basically negligible. But Swifty moving in again with a big attack here, has invested a lot of moles into this. Is he going to get the damage he wants? It looks like he is. The tier 2 drops for Super Premium. The farms are starting to fall as well. And Swifty's going to have to back out. Very nice attack there from Swifty. And I feel like Super Premium might have given him a little bit too much breathing room here. Like, now Swifty's economy is pretty similar to Super Premium's. Keep in mind that this early campfire really helped Swifty out, no longer in play at the moment, but is indeed a big thing. All right, can Swifty do it, man? This might be an overextension, as I think James has enough to hold here. Maybe not. Yeah, it looks like Swifty just got enough squirrels to start pushing through, but I don't think he's going to get any damage done. As long as Super Premium is on top of his Ferret Micro here, yeah, no real damage done there by Swifty, but that was still positive for Swifty because he's got the better economy. So if you've got the better economy, you don't mind taking even trades, right? So if Swifty can keep this aggression on, I love plays like that, man, just in between the fights, you know, queue up a farm, move back out. One squirrel dies already to ferrets. That shot didn't actually get any. 2 squirrels have gone down to ferrets. Maybe you could count that as a third. Nice target fire here from Swifty, though. The first tier 1 already down. The second tier 1 might be dying soon, but Swifty overextends to do a lot of pig fire. The Skirstmill tanks some damage. I mean, look how much damage that pig tanked and didn't die. You know, he did kill one of the ferrets, but now Super Premium might be able to come in here for some counter aggression. Like, instead of attacking in there, Swifty could have maybe tried to, you know, hold back for a minute, get a tier 3. I'm really bad about doing stuff like that as well. Like, I just lost a chip the other day because, you know, we were in a really scrappy fight, but somewhere in the middle of it, he threw down the tier 3 and I didn't, you know, and then the tier 3 shows up and you're like, well, I guess I'm dead. Nice job sneaking that out. But that could really make the difference. Super Premium gets some damage done there. Takes out a tier 1 Warren. Trades with his squirrels rather nicely, but Swifty's still got the better economy, but I'm worried because Swifty has never been able to really advance his army. He's been investing a lot into moles, which are great, you know, to add a lot of punch to a specific engagement, but they're almost like toads, you know, like moles 9 times out of 10, if they're doing their jobs, they're not going to make it out of the fight. So you compare that to, you know, a tier 2 unit like a skunk or a snake or a ferret, where you're going to try to do your best to keep those units alive, you know what I mean? And that's actually enough damage there. Swifty takes it. Some nice trades back. That was really hard to call, to be honest. Like, they kept, it was like, oh, Super Premium does an awesome attack, but then he overextends, and then now Swifty does, and back and forth, back and forth. That was really tough to call, to be perfectly honest, throughout most of that game, but Super Premium eventually did not have enough there, as I guess just making more squirrels, man, was the right call on that scenario. Sometimes it's hard, like, I always call it like a shoulder check kind of build, you know, where, you know, your opening is basically designed to where, all right, if your opponent's playing standard and they're not being too greedy or anything like that, then, you know, you'll poke in and both have similar stuff and you'll leave. No harm, no foul, but you know, if your opponent's messing around and trying to eco up really hard or take a tier 3 or something like that, you try to get in there and run them over. And I feel like that's kind of what Swifty did with the squirrels there, a little bit. Although, Super Premium didn't really do anything crazy. I don't know, it was rough. It was just kind of losing and gaining value, losing and gaining economy back and forth. And some overall good decision making by Swifty there. Just kind of knowing when to hold him, knowing when to fold him, you know. He was able to take the game. I think that game really, like, it was pretty close in my opinion. I think 1 or 2 engagements gone differently. Super Premium could have taken that. Uh-oh. Gabenese updated in KSR is taking Pocket World territory. We're slacking, man. We can't let the secret police get us. Match number 4, guys. Let's get into it. Okay. Oh, I'm excited for this game. Spawning at the bottom, we've got Premium Bow and Furmar. And their opponents up top, Blue Coon and Kerpa. Oh, you know what? I think Furmar and P-Boop both submitted this game. Maybe Furmar submitted a different one. I need to check that. Otherwise, I'll just hop right into it. My memory's so terrible, I won't even notice. And the chat will be like, you casted this one already, Delthius? Yup, okay. Okay, so they did submit the same one. Let me make a note here. I'm probably missing something amazing in the game, right? Of course I am! Premium Bow here. Going for the 4-farm skunk. Because, hey, why not? So, if you guys don't know why I'm excited about it, man, Premium Bow and Furmar was like the OG 2v2 guys. Like, right after launch, Premium Bow and Furmar that was like the squad, man, you had to watch out for. So, obviously they're not super serious guys. They're doing trolly stuff here. But this is kind of weird. Like, wait a second. Premium Bow and Furmar can't actually win. Well, they can, right? If they get their... Like, they both have Skunk Wolf and then defense, right? So nothing can attack buildings there. So their only unit that can attack buildings is turrets. And the artillery cannon there from Premium Bow. But they could still starve out their opponents, I suppose. Meanwhile, Blue Coon and Kerpa are no slouches. Okay, maybe they're all in on this or something. Because look at everybody's deck, man. He'll figure it out, says Premium Bow. Yeah. Yeah, I just did. I just did, you guys. I think this game happened at like 1:30 in the morning when everybody was delirious. And Premium Bow probably talked them all into going Skunk Wolf defense, right? And then Blue Coon was a shyster here and went for mole too. I think he broke the rules. Something tells me Blue Coon broke the rules here by going for that mole. Oh god. Skunk Gas Wars here. What do I even say? Like, what do you want from me in this situation? All right, guys. The skunks are really firing gas on the opponent's skunks. Oh, that gas getting me a little nervous. I guess does gas not affect building pigs? I don't think so. I think building pigs are considered a building, right? Oh man, okay, no skunks have died just yet. It wasn't Premium Bow's idea. I find that hard to believe. Okay, was Blue Coon, did he break the rules by taking mole? I think so, right? That's a big deal, man. Mole in this game? I need you to give me advice on my skunk micro. Oh boy. Alright, I gotta watch. I gotta watch more closely on P-Boop skunks here. What do you want my advice on skunk? I don't run meta stuff like skunks. I mean, I run it enough. Oh, Premium Bow almost losing a skunk there. 3 HP. Dude, skunk for skunk micro. And these numbers, you might be on your own, man. Well, they have building in the name. Listen, Miss Clicker, okay? It's building as a verb, not building as a noun. I know English is confusing. Hashtag wrecked. Alright. Or would it be an adjective? No, I just wrecked myself. Because it's an adjective in that situation. Like, the farm is building, right? Then it would be a verb. But a building farm, building is an adjective describing the noun. But still, it's not a noun. So there you go. Grammar with Delthius here. Alright. Lots of skunk gas, you guys. This looks like a fireworks display or something. I don't know, man. Ooh, looks like red is getting the better end of this. P-Boop and Blue Coon losing a lot of HP on their skunks, a couple of them going down. What is even happening here? You guys are just trolling me at this point, man. Let's think of something ridiculous to send Delthius and make him talk about. I love it. I think my favorite, I don't know, it's hard to say my favorite ridiculous game, but the one I liked a lot was the one where it was a 2v2 where there was like 1,000 moles built. Like, it was a map like this, and like basically every tile on the map was taken up by a mole. It was insane. Dude, what do you guys want from me here? Am I slacking? Should I just start talking about Scooby-Doo? Blue and yellow are actually moving in and getting a ton of damage here. What about prepositional phrases? Isn't it if something starts with an if, it's a preposition? I think I remember that from English class. Oh, blue and yellow making their way in. Now, Fermar is taking a lot of the Grismals on this map. Keep that in mind. The wolf from Fermar is also out, but only 2 wolves on the board. Yellow's trying to get his at the moment. So the wolf's probably not increasing the DPS of the skunk by a whole lot, though, right? Because it's going to make the skunk move and fire faster, but I don't think the gas stacks. So you're going to get a better spread with the wolf. As you can see, kind of over here. Like, that's a pretty huge spread. Dude, these skunks are going down, man. This is cost inefficient. Look at this pig, man. Is he going to get this hero pig? I guess the, I don't know, you guys. Who's winning this game? Looks like Fermar is getting something done. But who's got the best economy? It looks like P-Boop and Fermar at this point, right? Like, I feel like yellow and blue might just kind of get starved out. This is just artwork, man. Maybe I should just be quiet and enjoy this. This is what we want, man. Hardcore games where people are trying hard are always fun, but you know what's even more fun? Building Wolf Skunk and a lot of defense. Dude, we haven't seen any defense from anybody. You know, I think that's a big misplay here, to be perfectly honest, because imagine what just a little bit of defense would do to this game. God, this blue mill right here is really throwing me off. Like, you could just throw one turret down, right? And skunks can't do anything about that. One of the most ridiculous games ever, says Dingo Dancing. It's definitely up there. I like the 100 lizard game. No, Meowkaiser broke my heart. Actually, it was 99 lizards. He stopped at 99 lizards, you guys. Do you know how angry that made my OCD? I was like, alright, he's right there, we're gonna see it. And it was like kind of a competitive game. We're gonna see that 100 lizards, but no. It's gonna stop one short. How dare you, Meowkaiser. Ooh, Wolf goes down. See, it's kind of confusing because you look at it like this, right? And you think green and blue are on a team. Looks like Blue Coon, did he starve out or tap out? Looks like he must have been starving out, yeah. And with that, as his teammate exits the game as well, Premium Bow and Fermar. Look at that graph. It's almost as colorful and crazy as the game was. That was pretty good nonsense, though. I like that. I like that a lot. What if they just go around my defense? Dude, those units couldn't hit defense at all, man. Are you insane? Hey, what's up, Besakio, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Thanks for the raid / host. I appreciate it. You just missed a 2v2 where all players went skunk wolf defense. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. All right. Where are we at? Match number 5, guys. Ooh, we got a rain map here. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Caxi, because that's my best approximation on how to say that name. And up top, Protocam. Okay, what do we got going on here? I say okay, like, right at the beginning of matches too much. I try to notice things that I say a lot. Like, I think what was it when me and Icebox first started? We were always saying, like, absolutely a lot. I think that's what it was, I noticed. Where I counted up in one cast. We're like, dude, we both said, like, absolutely, like, 70 times, man. Can't be doing that. Is he related to Massa? That's a good question, man. I think he's, like, Polish or something? I don't know. That looks like a Polish name to me. That's a very... I'm a Floridian who barely could point Poland out on the map, so keep that in mind. Alright, wait. We've seen this game. We saw this game. You can keep saying woof 50 times in my book. Dude, that's right. Yeah, we saw this game already, you guys. My bad, I didn't vet it. I think it wasn't a new email in my defense, though. I think Protocam just grabbed a bunch of games. But we'll watch it anyway. So Protocam came down here for some kind of cheesy proxy turret type stuff here, and it's working very well for him. Caxi kind of thought about running forward and trying to attack. Wait, you're from Florida too? Yeah, man, dude. So many of us are from Florida. Like, I'm not gonna name people off just for their own privacy. If they want to tell you where they live, they can. I don't care. But I'm also a grown man. So there's that. But, dude, I know of a lot of Tooth and Tail guys that are in Florida, man. Oh, Massa trying to come in here, get something done, loses his commander, dies to those squirrels coming in, and Protocam takes it. I like seeing little stuff like that in the early game, man. You really keep people on their toes. Like, I think in my Class S match against Chip, he went for a 6-farm double on me. And it's like one of those things that you just don't even expect at high-level play. Because if you scout it, you can respond to it correctly. But he made a really good call where it was like, well, if Delthius scouts it, then whatever, I'll be a little bit behind. But, Chip probably felt like he could play behind against me, which is fine and probably true. But if you don't scout it, you can end the game with it. You know what I mean? And I was lazy with my scouting that game. So that can happen, man. So I like seeing 5-6 farm aggression in the early game. Because basically you got to go in and scout them, and then you got to follow up scout a couple times just to make sure that they don't sell something off after you leave, right? And sometimes I'm lazy and don't do the follow-up scouts, instead try to survey the map, right? So you're doing those 5-farm, 6-farm openings, or even doing something like take a proxy gristmill, build some turrets or something. I think it's really sharp just to keep people on their toes. Okay, so we saw, dude, 2 repeats in a row, man. I'm the worst. Florida, old people, gangsters, and Disney World. And traffic and tourists, strange criminals, that's very true. We had a guy in Florida, everybody knows about the Florida Man meme, right? Where it's just like random newspaper clippings that are like, Florida Man did something crazy. One of them was Florida Man threw a live gator into a Wendy's drive-through window. Might not have been a Wendy's, but it's some kind of fast food. And he got charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Like, how is that a real thing? You can Google it, man. It's insane. I guess an alligator should be considered a deadly weapon, right? When thrown into... I mean, if somebody came to my office and threw a gator in the window, I think I'd be pretty upset. That's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. Match number 7. Yeah, gentleman pointing out in the chat, good strategy if somebody does proxy you like that is you can kind of pack up shop and move somewhere else on the map. But I remember Frog was pretty good at that when it was a bit more meta a few months back to try to do things like that. But spawning on the left, guys, we've got Big Pimpatosh and his opponent to the right, the gentleman. All right, we got some Fox here. Always like to see that. Look at the gentleman, man. He's basically running a Delthius deck here besides the barbed wire. I got to get on the barbed wire train, though. And, Squirrel, Toad, Ferret, Fox. That's definitely a fun style to play. Toad is, I'm not going to stand by Toad and say it's like the most amazing thing, but it can be. And it's really fun to micro Toads. You can try to get some really good engagements. But it's also weird where you don't want to hold on to them too long, because if they die and they don't actually trigger their explosion, then they don't do any damage, right? So you don't want to like overhold them and just let them die off. So it's weird. I did a lot of testing with Chip one night. We stayed up like ridiculously late and just played a bunch of games, and it was a lot of fun. But what we were trying to do was see if Toads were actually good, and then I was trying to experiment on how I could break that Balloon Owl style with some of my silly decks. And we kind of figured out that you don't really want to go, like, I don't think it's correct in the early game to do something like 9 Squirrel, 3 Toad, unless you see your opponent has Lizards. I think Toads are really strong once they get up to, like, that 9 number. I think 9 is kind of the perfect number of Toads. Because 3, the problem with 3, like, 9 Squirrel, 3 Toad versus 12 Squirrel, is if the player's on top with their micro and they're target firing, you can target fire down all the Toads and they don't do anything besides tank a little damage. Six toads are kind of in the same boat. You have a pretty good chance to target fire down most of them. Maybe one or two will connect, but when you start getting up to like 9 toads, you can get some serious impact. Like I think 15 squirrels and 9 toads could probably beat 24 squirrels. It would depend a lot on the positioning, on the terrain. I mean, there's a lot on the micro, but you really just can't target fire down 9 toads fast enough, if that makes sense. Like, a few of those toads are going to get some really good hits. Frog says he can make 3 toads work. Try making 3 toads work against somebody who knows how to target fire, man. I'm telling you. Back me up, gentlemen. What is the best number of toads? 9, man. I think you want 9 toads. 6 toads is not bad. I think 6 toads can get it done too. I just think 3 is too small. And Gentleman is going for a pretty fast fox rush here off the back of a couple campfires, a little bit of defense. I like this barbed wire, man. I always love to see people utilize just small numbers of defense really effectively. Like, instead of drawing a huge wall of barbed wire here, you know, he builds just a couple pieces. Luckily for Tosh, Tosh has got some chameleons that do very well against barbed wire. He's going to push in here for a decent trade. He's going to lose this, but he kills the tier 2 of his opponent. So not the worst trade in the world for him. Both the tier 2s go down. The problem here, though, is that Gentleman has been enjoying that extra campfire army. But the bigger problem here is the fact that this fox is almost bought and paid for. And once the fox hits out, it's going to be rough for Tosh. Now, Tosh doesn't have... I don't think he's totally, you know, out of this once the fox comes up. Snakes are good against the fox. Chameleons are good against the fox. So he's got a couple answers. Has he seen the tier 3 yet? I do want to note, he actually has not. This is one of the hardest positions in the game, in my opinion. When you've kind of hit that mid-game, and figuring out when your opponent throws down the tier 3 is so important, man. Because it doesn't matter what tier 3 it is, really. If your opponent, you know, gets out that tier 3 at the right time when you're not prepared for it, because you just couldn't, and it gets difficult the longer the game goes on to actually get back here and find something like this, because oftentimes you might not even be able to run past the army, you know. But luckily for Tosh, he does throw down the badger, but Fox is favored against the badger. The fox is already out. The badger's still got almost a minute until it'll be here. And more importantly, Tosh does not have pigeons in his composition, which are kind of a must pick when you run the badger, as the badger is just amazing with some pigeon backup. So this is gonna be rough for Tosh, man. Ooh, the chameleons are gonna hit, but you need 4 of them to really basically auto kill that fox. So 2 of them, it's gonna be like, ah, crap, but Gentleman's got time to move back and get out of there. Oh my god. Okay. Remember what I say about mines, guys. Mines are the most effective when you don't realize that they're there. I think that mines get exponentially worse after your opponent realizes you have mines. So I remember Tosh had a mine out earlier, but I'm not sure if Gentleman has seen it. And the reason I say that is because if the Gentleman's aware of mines, then he's going to really babysit this fox. He's probably going to move the fox out, inch it forward with the squirrels, right? And let the squirrels kind of mine sweep for the fox. Whereas if he hasn't seen any mines, then he's going to be more careless with this fox and be like, la la la, you know, just running around with it. And like, he must not know that mines exist, because he would not be moving around like this if he did. He would be very, very cautious. Oh, I don't think he's going to get close enough for all of them to go off. Oh, no. Oh, and it actually does work. Well done from Tosh there. I'm surprised the Gentleman inched forward a little more, but it was probably panic mode, man. And maybe he was surprised. He's like, Tosh thinks that only 2 mines kills it or something, but the 3rd mine was there. It's just slightly ahead. Gentleman's going to go for it now. And nice target firing down on the badger. That's what I was talking about, man. The badger just really needs that pigeon to get a ton of value. And, ooh, is Tosh going to break through here regardless? I actually think so. See, even though I'm a fox player, man, I love seeing mine usage like that. And I think it was very, very smart from Tosh. And I think it's hard to hold on to those mines, you know? Like, he was probably really tempted to use them earlier on, but he saved them and got some incredible value out of them. Gentleman kind of prevented himself from just straight up losing as who cares about caution when you can kill 5 pigs with 1 fox? Very true. But yeah, the gentleman is still in the game because he was able to micro down that badger very quickly, which I think was the big thing here. Since, you know, Tosh kind of beat the, you know, knocked out the tier 3 before the fight even happened, which was huge. But with some good target fire and a lot of falcons in the sky, gentleman, ooh, is he gonna lose the fox again? Some nice chameleon micro there from Big Pimpin' Tosh, but I think the damage has been done at this point. The gentleman's economy is just very far ahead at this point. Is the gentleman going to go for fox number 3? No, decides to sell it off. Maybe just, yeah, I think that's correct. I think he just throws down a lot more squirrels here and just tries to end this game because his economy is just so far ahead. And that is a good point. Like, it's always funny when, like, we always really react when a fox dies, I feel like, compared to other tier 3. Like, oh, the fox died, the game's over, you know. I mean, kind of like the gentleman said, you know, he got in there and he got so much damage done before that fox died. Like, it was kind of worth it, right? So you got to keep that in mind too. So it was the fact that I think there's 2 big deciding factors this game. Number 1 is that the gentleman's tier 3 did indeed die, but it got a lot of value done before it died. And you can kind of say the same thing for his second fox too. Not quite as much value as the first fox, but it did quite a bit of work on the front lines before the chameleons got it. And Tasha's tier 3, on the other hand, really didn't do anything for him. It died in that engagement relatively quickly to some target firing. And then on top of that, the gentleman just had a better economy, which is kind of like due to the first point, right? Where the gentleman got so much damage done with the fox. So therefore, he's got the better economy. I don't care if the fox dies. I'm going to kill your tier 3 and still win the game. Really cool game. We had some crazy games tonight already. All right, guys. Let's get into a 2v2. We shall never speak of the curse again. See, you guys gotta submit more gentleman losses, man. Gentleman ain't gonna submit his own. See, the problem, poor gentleman, because gentleman actually does submit a lot of his losses. Like, gentleman submitted that game, right? So I don't even know if he's gonna win or lose. You can never really tell the guy. But if somebody else submits a gentleman game, it's almost always a loss, right? So 100% of games submitted by other people are losses, and then half of his own submissions. But in this match, Sledge is already going for a bit of aggression with the small, but Augusta bombs. I keep thinking of Migusta. Augusta bombs here. Had a nice early game response. The small hasn't gotten a lot of damage done, but it's kept the pressure on. And yeah, the opponents are forced to not saturate up. You know, they got to build a lot of defense. What is Travman up to? I would love to see Travman. Travman's just trying to throw down some turrets. Oh, no, he actually took this expansion. Duh. He's helping out with the aggression here. So, very aggressive start to this game. Ooh, that mole almost made it. This is looking rough for green and red, man. If they can't break this hold, they're going to be in a bad spot. And Augusta Bombs here already lost the pig, so he's down to 3 farm economy. Red Dino is starting to stabilize a little bit here. Ooh, the lizard trying to get in and get something done, but 2 turrets together like this is very, very difficult. They're basically exponentially stronger than a single turret. And now that 4 turrets are coming up here, no, decided, man, let's get some more moles going. But I like this from the Red Dino. Not overreacting with defense. Just getting enough to kind of hang on as he gets his economy going. Even sneaks out of here to take another base. But Augusta Farm's been very crippled at this point, and the pressure is not letting up. And poor guy is hemorrhaging his lizards into these turrets. Ooh, once that artillery cannon gets up, that's basically curtains for Augusta Bombs here. What he needs to do is sell off what he can and run over here and try to set up shop somewhere else. Because blue and yellow don't really have much of a standing army outside a couple moles, you know? Blue trying to come in for the counter push. This is exactly what they need to be doing. Augusta Vaughn's contributing to his team as best he can. before getting sent to the kitchen, as the moles finish up their dirty work up here. Get it, moles, dirty work? You guys. Come on, you guys. Somebody's had to have made that joke before, right? I can't be the first caster in Tooth and Tail to say moles doing dirty work. I don't think I've even said that. Have I said that? I've probably said that. This is a great response from Red Dino here, but it's just a matter of time until Red Dino loses this mining base. I'd like to see him come over here, even sell off these couple Warrens, and really just kind of try to resituate everything over here on the side. But meanwhile, Sledge is kind of in a rough spot. He's gotten most of his resources wrapped up in just trying to rebuild this base and make a couple moles to reinforce this push in this position. Dude, these moles really got to get a lot of damage done here, and they're not. They're actually going to die. This is terrible for Sledge. That's 180 food on an already fledgling economy. And Red Dino is pushing in on the south, man. Dude, he's playing this game exactly how it needs to be done. I think Red Dino responded very well in the early game. He didn't overreact, right? Like, he got out enough defense to stay alive, but kept his economy up fresh. And then once he started realizing, look at this, he's already coming back here, selling this stuff off, and resetting up shop over down south. You know, but once he kept his economy going. Like, there was a point in the early game. Yeah, look at this income graph. Like, yellow and blue had a small economy because they started this aggression on 4 or 5 farms and never really went back to expand up. Yugusavams is just trying, he was under fire, man. He did what he could, but he got shoved out. And Red Dino, you know, stayed safe, tried to protect his ally. I think he read pretty correctly when it was a hopeless situation. Not even nice micro there. That's very hard to do, man. Just kind of back out exactly right when your commander's about to die, you know? So blue and yellow trying to refortify here. But I think Red Dino might actually have enough lizards to break through here. One turret by itself is not scary, especially without an army. And Red Dino, I think, just takes the game from here, right? Blue and yellow really got nothing left. Now I want an avocado for some reason. Why are we talking about avocados, man? I'm so confused. Me goose the bums. Oh man, I must have just missed too much of the chat. The chat troll. Boom. Red Dino with some very impressive play, man. I think he's just gonna seal this game out, but let's see. I mean, nah, I can't try to spin this for you guys. No level of spin would make this situation right. As Red Dino is up 14 squirrels. I like this from Sledge, trying to bring back. This is actually really effective from Sledge. I think it's hard to say, but I think Red Dino shouldn't have brought everything back. Maybe just build a turret or two, right? Like, Sledge did a really good job there buying time. And what he's doing is he's kind of keeping the army away from just ending the game, right? Like, outside of Sledge's base. But it's only going to work for so long, as Sledge simply doesn't have enough at this point. And let's see. Red Dino takes a match. Well done. Why, Delthius? You're killing the suspense. First off, how do you not like avocado? That's insane. I didn't like avocado when I was younger, man, but now I love it. I'm one of those guys. Like, just a regular sandwich, put avocado on there. Put avocado on my burritos. Dude, guacamole, man. Some good guacamole. Dude, Master Stealth saying avocados are nasty. What? Avocado, don't be talking like that. Avocado smoothies? Yeah, maybe you're going a little too far with that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what. I just gave it a chance. Dude, your taste buds really do change. Like, I'm almost 30 now, and I like foods that I hated when I was younger, and foods that I liked when I was younger I don't like anymore. Your taste buds definitely do change. Okay, where are we at? So we're getting into some more Red Dinosaur action coming up next. man. If you guys want to submit some last-minute games, I got quite a bit of viewership here and not a lot of replays. So hook me up, man, and we'll keep it going. Are you older than me, Miss Clicker? No. I'm turning 29 August 1st. August 1st is my birthday. I'm not that old. Protocam, like, the majority of the ones that you sent in were desynced, my man. Yeah, get some more recent games. Yeah, although I think all those in the email you sent a lot, which I do appreciate. It's always nice when people send a ton of replays. That way, if I don't have a lot, you know, I just got a nice stock. Unless I tried. Oh wait, maybe I made a mistake. Wait, I might have made a mistake. Maybe I tried the last games again. Let me see. Let me see before I start calling out Protocam. I think you're right. I think maybe I messed up. That happens a lot, guys. I am indeed not a perfect human being and make mistakes all the time. Oh, yep, okay. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong, Protocam. Okay, so we got some Protocam games we can go into. And then I think there's a couple more from Cold Warpgate I've got. So I've got a little bit of stock. Hey, thanks for the follow, Happy Knitting. I appreciate it. Welcome. Della's 50. Don't let me trick you. So yeah, I do need, while I do have everybody here, man, I do need more replays, so do not be shy, man. Submit games at ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a show on Thursday. And I need replays for that. So, alright guys, game number 9. Enough talking. I know you guys are getting bored of my rambling. Bottom right, we've got Miss Clicker. And his opponent up top, the Red Dino. Alright. I like the concept of Miss Clicker's deck here. I really try to do this. It's kinda it's weird, like the problem with it is it's better, how do I put this? Like, it's better if your deck is really, really good at one thing than if your deck is kinda good at a bunch of stuff, right? You see that a lot in competitive card games, like Magic the Gathering. I've been playing Magic since I was a kid, on and off, and it's kind of hard because you're like building a deck, and you're just like, oh, I want to throw in this card, and this card's awesome, and you know I want all these different cards, but you know, why are red deck wins or like really aggressive red decks so strong? Because there's not a single card in that deck that costs more than 3 mana most of the time. You know, like everything is super cheap, and yeah, it's tempting to throw in those other cards that are really good, but you got to have like this theme to it where everything synergizes really well. And I think that same kind of concept applies to a Tooth and Tail unit selection, where, you know, with the Fox play, you're really good at the early to mid game, and even arguably the late game, but you're going to get outshined by things like Owl. So what is Liquor doing with this Badger selection? He's saying, well, once the Owl phase of the game gets here, I want to have an answer for that, and my answer for that is going to be Badger. But the problem is, with that, now you're going to have a Badger and a Fox to micro, number 1, and number 2, the deck might be more powerful, which is fair. But at the same time, it could totally work. I've actually experimented with this with my Fox setup, running Owl instead of the Badger, just because the Owl is not really, it's not micro intensive, you know. Like, you can have an Owl and a Fox out and still do well. But I think when you're playing Fox, it's hard because I don't know if this even exists. Like, last time I was streaming ranked games, I was really trying to scratch my head and figure out different compositions that could do it possibly, but I feel like it's too late if Owls get out. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta get in there and in the game with that early power that you're gonna get out of the Fox. And it can be very difficult when your opponents set up with balloons and skunks and all that. That's why I've been experimenting with toads. I'm like, maybe toads are enough to break that Owl skunk choke. Because, you know, what's a player in Red Dino's position? Now, Red Dino is opening up with a pretty interesting variation on the fast tier 2 rush. Instead, he's going for a double tier 2 rush. We saw Frog do this a lot back in the day with getting out 4 chameleons. Typically, you see more on what Miss Clicker is doing here as far as builds are concerned, where you might take an expansion. You know, I expect to see a couple more tier 1 Warrens here. But no, instead, Miss Clicker is going to go for that double tier 2 as well. The problem with this deck is that I played with Dino like 20 times before this, so the duo I was using. Yeah, that too, man. That can be very difficult. I agree. All right, nice engagement coming in here. It looks like Miss Clicker might take the better end of this. He really wants to get that other ferret kill. Is he gonna get it? He might lose the skunk. No, he gets it. Get out of there with that skunk. Oh, I'm so worried about the skunk, you guys. This is stressing me out. No, 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 no. The skunk goes down. Nice pickup there for Red Dino. Sneaky chameleons. What's up, Ramble Scramblins? How's it going, man? Don't want to lose the rock, paper, scissors of tier 3. Pick 2 of them. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I like that in theory, man. And I don't want to say firmly if it works or doesn't work. I think having skunks here for tier 2 makes a lot of sense out of Miss Clicker, because skunks are probably the strongest tier 2 at the moment, just as far as utility goes, and because there's so much tier 1, man. They do pretty good against that. So it's a nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, since you're gonna be down spots in your deck, having like Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk feels pretty good to try to go for 2 tier 3. Okay. Miss Clicker keeping the aggression up. See, sometimes like it doesn't even really matter, right? Excuse me. Like, the tier 3 probably won't even come into play this game. You know, really what this game is probably going to be is like Squirrel Skunk versus Squirrel Ferret Chameleon. So then it's like, I spend all this time talking about these like tier 3 picks and like, oh, that's interesting. You know, is that the way to do it? Isn't that the way to do it? Where it's like, well, it doesn't even matter. Because we're just going to be hardcore aggressive, man. We're going to try to end this game in the early to mid game. I think it makes a lot of sense from Red Dino, because Red Dino is pretty boned on this map. It's going to be hard to expand. Well, I guess this isn't too bad for Red Dinosaur. So I think, no, I do take that back. I think he had the opportunity to expand if he wanted to. Red Dino put on that aggression early. Miss Clicker was able to get the better end of it, and has just kept the counter pressure going ever since. Dropping a skunk there, so needs to be careful. Gonna back out for now. And Miss Clicker looks like he's gonna be in a nice spot to continue getting bigger from here. He's already got that second base up, but he hasn't taken anything on it yet. I think this is a campfire down south, yeah, so that's actually a really big deal for one base scenarios. It's actually too bad Red couldn't get these campfires up himself. He's just been under so much pressure, and that other ferret going down as well. Miss Clicker is on a rampage here. He smells blood in the water. He's picking off more and more tier 2. And now he might have enough to break through. Okay. Ooh, get in there. I kept hearing Miss Clicker as Miss Licker. I thought they were a TNT girl. Oh, Mishra, you almost had a friend. Amari's a girl. Mishra and Amari, I think that's all the girls that I'm aware of. Miss Licker. See, now I'm tempted to call Miss Clicker Miss Licker, but that's too mean. Too mean of a nickname, I think. We gotta get something better. M Licker. Like, what would miscellaneous... To me, miscellaneous liquor would be, like, look at this. Nice try by Red Dino to sneak away. That would be the stuff, like, I'm imagining, like, some man's, you know, patio bar, right? Like, in his 50s, you know. He's got the little pool back there, and he invites his buddies over to drink and stuff, and he plays bartender. And then the Miss Clicker would be those, like, random, like just barely like an eighth left in the bottle of like some off-brand, you know, whiskey or, you know, some foreign like absinthe or something like that, you know, some like yellow vodka, and you're just like, why is this vodka yellow? I don't know, man. I'm gonna drink it anyways. That's what Mistclicker would be. Call him Mistclicker. Oh man, Mistclicker. Wrecked. God, Mistclicker is so good. You can even call him Mistclicker, and you almost don't even notice it. It's like I'm just saying Mistclicker, right? Mistclicker? Dude, that's beautiful. Good job, P-Boop. Game number 10, guys. Yes to all that. Okay, okay. We're on the same page. The 50-year-old bar-owning guy in my imagination, he's got that like old school big bushy mustache and like the unbuttoned Hawaiian t-shirt, you know, and the swim trunks, too sunburnt. Did I paint the picture vividly enough? Maybe he's got a pool table on his back porch, you know, but it's just covered in dust and books, and it's more of like a regular table for storage at this point because nobody uses it. In the right, guys, we've got a Mistria. And over to the left, Nominee. Mistria is like, focus, it's my game. We're talking about nonsense, man. Alright. This map is pretty crazy. What is going on here? Now I see why Mistria wanted me to focus. Gonna open some things up with a sneaky base. I wonder what the point of this sneaky base is up here in the top, because she doesn't have now typically when you're gonna take a base this early, for one, it's really risky, because it should be, if Nominee is on top of it, like with this follow-up scout. Now this is the spot in the game where you gotta do that follow-up scout back to your opponent's main base, because the first time you scout, you can see they're going 8 farm, right? Everything looks normal. And then the second time you scout, kind of bad example here because he does just kind of catch him. He's sure taking that. But the second time you scout, he would start realizing, like, hey, things are missing. So she has money that is not placed on the board where I can see it. Obviously, something weird is going on. I don't know. Mistria just kind of leaves us base alone up top to keep us questioning for the moment, and is instead going to build a campfire, get a lot of lizards. Now, here's the thing. Nominee is going to have to move his units up here to take this out. Does a Mistria move out right now with the lizards and counterattack? Yeah, okay. This is amazing. Brilliant misdirection here from a Mistria. Building this gristmill up top, not doing anything about it, just to come in here and counterattack. Now, Nominee was kind of on top of it and started moving his units back in time. That could have been a lot worse for him, and he's actually going to clean up this this attack fairly effectively, but plus style points there for Mistria. Really cool special tactic. And she did get some damage done there. She killed a Warren, and she traded kind of okay with those squirrels. I still think the squirrels got the better trade, but you know, when you take the numbers into account, the lizards did pretty good. Oh, and the squirrels still haven't been able to take that base out. So now he's kind of getting strung around here a little bit, as Mistria is keeping the aggression on. This time she gets the farm, but loses all the lizards in the process. Okay. Now Nominee, I think, is finally going to get in here and knock out this gristmill. But that was distraction gristmill, man. And Mistria doesn't care. And she realizes that's under attack, so she's going to try to come in one more time. And this was a big mistake by Nominee. These lizards will be here in time to knock out these turrets. Ooh, it's close. The turrets are going to get something done, but nice pickup overall for Mistria. She's got to leave right now, though, before these squirrels get back. She's got to get out of here. Oh, no. I probably would have tried to do the same thing. She was like, maybe there's an attack path, but you know what? Now she convinced these squirrels to walk into a bad position, and the lizard reinforcements get there, and she takes a nice trade. Clutch MGs. Dude, they were like almost clutch MGs, man. They were very, very close to being clutch MGs. If you would have built them like 3 seconds earlier, they would have been up in time to be really effective against all those lizards. But speaking about a lot of lizards, man, Amicia is not letting up. And the march of the lizards continues as she's going to move in here. The skunk does not do that great against lizards. And now, okay. Nice decision to pull back from Amicia. She hesitated for a split second there, if I want to be hypercritical, and maybe could have lived with a few more lizards, but still, that was the right call to not overextend. I felt like she overextended for a few seconds, but then kind of realized it, got out of there. But with some good target fire, you can fight on top of those Warrens. So this army doesn't look terrible for Nominate. With 12 squirrels and a single skunk versus 18 lizards. The lizards cleaned this up, no harm, no foul. And Amicia is starting to plant her flag on the map. Look at those little, just a couple pieces of barbed wire, man. This one especially I love. In between the bridge there. That's going to be so annoying. This other piece actually gets up here, which is going to be a pain for Naminé. Now, if things kind of get quiet, Naminé can use the skunk to kind of tank that down. But, oh, got to be careful running through this barbed wire. Nicely done, Naminé is going to get there, but I'm worried about these reinforcements, right? Like, this squirrel's just going to walk right through that barbed wire. But anyways, he's going to try to come in here and attack again. And Amicia is going to clean it up, no problem. I think Naminé really needed to try to get, hold back and try to regroup and expand here, but at the same time, I don't blame him for being so aggressive, as his only expansion option really is this upper base, and since Amicia has lizards, Amicia could probably get over here, attack this base before Naminé could get in position. Having to spread out that much against lizards is really, really brutal. All you need is a ton of lizards in style. Gentlemen would approve. And with that, Amicia takes it. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Like, I feel like Naminé kept trying to push in after he'd taken losses. Like, look at the graph there. Excluding the couple, in the early game, he did take a couple decent trades, but Amicia got value out of it, killed a Warren, killed a pig, things like that. But then it got to the point where Naminé was trying to push out against Amicia, but just kept taking unfavorable engagements. But he didn't have a lot of choice there because he had a little bit of a one base situation going on. And again, he kind of had that northern base that he could expand to, but with the mobility that Amicia had with the lizards, it would have been very difficult to defend. So I don't hate that decision making to try to get in there and prevent Amicia from expanding. Mass Lizard is always a classy sight. I don't know if I agree with that one, gentlemen. I think Mass Lizards is the opposite of classy. But you know what is classy? Is when somebody runs Mass Lizards and I blow them up with toads. That feels amazing. Match number 11. Okay, spawning on the right, guys. We've got Cold Warp Gates. And to the left, we've got Saga. You've got a couple before the cheese tasting, gentlemen. You're gonna have to wait for a couple batches here. Cold Warp Gates is a newer name. I saw him on last show, but I don't know if he submitted that game. This time I'm pretty sure he submitted. So welcome, man. I always do appreciate it, man. Don't be shy, guys. I literally cannot do this show if people don't submit, man. So please do submit your replays. To ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. I try to be positive, and if you hear me, it's hard to explain. Like, if I know you're screwing around, or I know you're probably a beginner or not a super tryhard, I'm not going to nitpick you to death. But if you're one of these guys that I know are higher level, then I do try to be a little bit more critical during those casts, just to kind of, give pointers to people watching, try to improve their game and stuff. But all right. What do we got this game? So far, nothing crazy. Saga, Went for a 7 farm Morin, which is fine. You know, 8 farm is the most optimal, but 7 farm is a bit safer, and you're really not losing out very much at all in the economy. This graph is a little bit incorrect again because it counts when the farm first starts building, not when it actually starts production. Yeah, you submitted it, Amistria. That's what I thought. I thought it was Cold Warp Gates versus Amistria. I just didn't say that because I didn't want to be wrong. But when have I ever held off about being wrong, guys? So that's why you critique me into oblivion, says Massive Stealth. Yeah, it's not because it's fun giving you a hard time or anything. It's because you're a top level player, man. That's definitely what it is. Dude, some people, I don't know why, man. Some people I just like giving a hard time. Like, Frog should submit some replays of me. I'd love to. I'm never mean in my cast, I don't feel like. Maybe sometimes I am, but it's totally unintentional. But I would like to kind of do that, like, snarky mean cast one time. Just to somebody like Frog, because he deserves it. Alright, Saga. I like this from Saga, man. You know, this turret's not necessarily necessary, but it's fine. It's not the biggest investment in the world. It gives you a nice spot to fall back to, kind of help you gain confidence to get your footing out on the map. Winter StarCraft type cast. Dude, I'm not that guy, man. I'm not a mean person. So I can't really be mean when I cast. I don't know. It's just for fun, man. Why would I be mean while I was casting? Couple of campfires coming down here from Saga. I like Saga's position a lot, to be honest. But if he's not careful, Cold Warp Gates can take this. Look at this from Cold Warp Gates. What am I talking about? I love Cold Warp Gates' position. Because he's going for that fast fox, man. I wasn't paying close enough attention how he did it exactly. Delthius is considering the confidence values of him. Jeez, that's some benevolent casting here. Dude, that's a big part in Tooth and Tail, man. I'm telling you, or any RTS, any competitive game, your emotional footing, or just your emotional state is absolutely enormous. I think that's the reason that aggressive builds can often get away with it. Hang on, we got the Fox coming out here. Ooh, gets the Falcon. Right off the bat, I love it. Proxy Revenge, sweetest damn thing. Yeah, there's this guy Heavyset on the ladder. We don't talk much about him because he was abusing an exploit to gain points. But before all that shenanigans, he was really well known for proxy turret rushing on the ladder, and he'd take some cheap wins off you, and you're just like, oh. And then once you kind of hold it off and figure it out and win, you just feel so great. It always feels great to win against somebody in a straight up game when they cheese you, because cheesing is easy. Like that's why people do it, man. Like, you know, the virtuous nerd is the macro nerd, right? Like, he's saying, okay, I want to take this to a standard game, and I want to play a game of skill and strategy with you, where the cheeser is like, I want to win in a cheap way, you know, because I'm exploiting a timing in a build where when you try to go standard, I'm just going to overrun you with too much stuff or something weird. But here we go, Saga's moving in. And I think the Fox is just too much of a factor in this fight. Saga's going to do okay. Actually, Saga's not doing that bad. He probably would have done much, much better if his commander didn't die. You know, getting that ferret down was a big deal. But now Saga's getting his own Fox down. Where'd he put it? Right there. But Saga's so far behind on economy. Cold Warp Gates might be able to just keep the aggression going and hit the second mill. ToothAndTailTV, you mind if I show a game between me, Ironwall, Jenkins, and CPU? Not at all, man. We can't say the name 2 more times. Wait, say whose name? Alright, see, Amisha doesn't even know about it. That's good, man. That means it's dying off. It's a thing of the past now. Yeah, this kind of looks bad for Warp Gates here, but I really don't think it is. Because he is hemorrhaging off units, but he's denying Saga from taking a base. And we're getting to that critical moment. We're 6 minutes in now, where you just kind of gotta get on another mining base, right? I mean, these campfires have helped Saga a lot, but, you know, now he's probably not even going to be able to finance his Fox. He does have a lot of unnecessary turrets, though, to be perfectly honest. I would sell off a couple of them, you know, specifically like this back one. Having a few turrets out here and there to kind of zone the Fox back is pretty big. Needs to be careful, man. Loses a commander, which always hurts in battles like this. Look at Premium Bow. Telling people how to find their replays. #1 mod, man. That really should be a command in chat. Maybe I'll get on that. Dude, I don't know. Icebox set all that up and then he left. Like, I don't know how any of my bots work. I don't even have an excuse for it anymore. It's not like Icebox left, like, last week. He left in, like, October or November. November max, right? It was, like, late October, I think, when he quit doing it with me. That sounded bad. When he had a child. But yeah, I just never looked into it. I should. I totally should. It is a command. I am a bot. Fair enough. Dude, Premium Bow's attendance rating is pretty impressive. Premium Bow is a real MVP, man, of ToothAndTailTV. He's like the only guy that's on my staff here. Like, I wish I had a video guy, man. That would be really nice. True. If it was a command, P-Boop would be out of a job. Yeah, no, it's really me and Premium Bow, like, running the show here, man. Stop doing it with you and had a child. Got it. Oh my god. Phrasing. Are we still doing phrasing? See, these engagements just look good for Saga, surprisingly. I think it's how much of the army is in the Fox, but the Fox is getting the work done. And eventually, Saga just gets bled out. Need an archery emote. Somebody got the reference. All right, that's pretty mainstream reference, right? It's when I start making like Dragon Ball Z references. The chat's like, "Whoa, Delthius, showing your age, man. Nobody knows what a Kamehameha is anymore." Dude, we don't need an archer emote. We got the best emote ever by Glorious AFB. Look at that beautiful thing. Boom. Okay. Hey, Miss Clicker with the 100-bit cheer, man. Appreciate it. Says get P-Boo something shiny. I'll get him a single gold coin. And then he'll be very happy because he's like, oh wow, the value of gold is really high nowadays. And then he examines it closer and it's just like the chocolate wrapped in a gold coin wrapper, you know? No one knows what diamond dust is anymore. Are you kidding me? I grew up on diamond dust. That sounded like a drug reference. It's a Final Fantasy reference. What's the difference? Alright guys, match number 12. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Michi. And his opponent up top, Pyle. Alright, we're seeing even Michi running the Delthius style. Maybe it's egotistical to call it the Delthius style, but I think I kind of popularized the squirrel, toad, ferret, fox in higher level play, right? Right, guys? Can I take credit for that one? Maybe. But Pyle running the fox too. Pyle has been calming down lately in this meta. We're used to seeing Fox run like lizards and a ton of defense. Instead, you know, he's kind of got something that looks normal. He's got like squirrel, pigeon, mole, some nice aggression. In the early game, he's got the Fox, and the Falcon is kind of like... The Falcon is that unit that Misclicker was looking for in the Badger, I feel like. Like, it's hard for me to fit the Falcon in, because I just have trouble with the 6-unit maximum. Del thinks he owns Fox builds. I don't own Fox builds, you guys. Thanks for casting my game. It was fun to watch. This is Warp Gates. No problem. I'm just saying that, like, the squirrel, toad, ferret, fox style, I think I might have popularized. But maybe I'm being egotistical. I think I made Mishi a believer on toads at the very least. because Mishi came into my streams a couple times like, toads are garbage, and then I like beat some higher level players with toads. He's like, okay, maybe I see what you're saying. Every fox deck is a Delthius deck in my book, says Mishi. Oh, Mishi's the man, guys. All right. So pretty standard stuff here so far. Pyle going for some aggression. Not necessarily. I mean, 3 tier 1 Warrens is kind of, yeah. So he was really trying to fake out Mishi. I actually think that's a really smart thing to do. Mishi, of course, will do the rescout as soon as he can. But Mishi was actually being pretty greedy with his opening. Went for just 1 tier 1 before hitting into that tier 2. And he's going to want to put on some pressure with this Ferret. Now, did Pyle scout the tier 2? Yes, he did. So the Falcon's coming down from Pyle to match. And Falcons do pretty well against most other tier 2, I feel like. But what I was saying earlier is I think Falcon is probably that unit. Something like what Mishi has. Besides, maybe instead of mine. Mine feels like a good, like, trap kind of thing, you know? Like, I hope Mishi kind of saves his mines until he sees the fox, but it's kind of like, how do you know he has the fox? Maybe Mishi's just going to set up some mines on the side ground. Again, I feel like mines are super strong before your opponent scouts them, but Pyle sees it right there. So that does change things for Pyle. Now Pyle has the opportunity to play around mines on the map, but it's kind of a catch-22, because if you play around the mines too hard, then you're going to be moving out much slower than normal, right? Kind of creeping forward all the time. But the fact that Pyle knows that Mishi has mines in his deck, I think is absolutely enormous. You know, he didn't find out Mishi has mines by the hard way, right? By losing a big chunk of tier 1 or a fox or something. He just found out through good scouting. The mine was because I was expecting a mole push. Yep. Yeah, and I don't think that mine was incorrect by Mishi. I was just kind of pointing out that it was unfortunate for Mishi and good for Pyle, the fact that Pyle saw that mine while building, if that makes sense. Because mines are just so much stronger, in my opinion, if you got to find out your opponent even has mines the hard way. Here we go. Pyle is pushing in for a big attack, but Mishi's got a nice setup of army, but Pyle's army is indeed stronger at the moment, as Pyle really hasn't invested in his second base yet. He's got a lot of moles here to tank up front. Mishi's invested. Mishi's kind of doing that standard macro play, you know. He built a lot of tier 1. He's got a tier 2. You know, he started his second base, trying to get a tier 3. And Pyle is going for a very strong one-base scroll mole push with some Falcons in the back. Is the defender's advantage going to be enough? So far, really nice target firing from Pyle here. Even getting his commander out in time. Trying to really stay cognizant of that HP on that commander. So good job there. Get some damage done, but not crippling damage. I think Mishi could afford the blows there. Overall, the armies felt like they traded okay. You know, Pyle took out a couple Warrens, you know, a farm. But really, ooh, Mishi sold off the fox. Interesting decision. Because I was going to say, like, really, if Mishi could just hold on until that fox gets out. But I think Mishi is a good enough player to realize, you know, maybe that's where I make mistakes. Because look at this. If Mishi didn't sell off that fox, he might just die to this attack. Del would never sell a fox. Dude, Del will go down with the ship way too much. See, that's what makes Mishi a better player than me right there. Because Mishi sold the fox to be able to get another farm up. He's like, you know, he's going to be patient. You know, maybe one day he can get that fox out. But really the big reason to sell the fox was to get up more tier 1. Because Mishi, the way I would have read it there was, okay, I held off the big push. I'm safe for now. And I only need like 30 or 40 seconds for my fox to get out. Where Mishi was like, okay, that one push was cute. But what if Pyle comes in and tries to push me again? I need to be prepared for it. And now Pyle's got a really saturated second base. And I think this game is starting to stabilize. Both players are now trying to get up to a responsible fox. You know, not a crazy fox, just a responsible fox. Shows up to work 15 minutes early. Pays his bills in advance. Ooh, Pile. Going for the double fox here. I've never really understood double fox. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I've really never, maybe once or twice, I've ever really gone past one fox. There's a couple reasons. I mean, as long as the foxes aren't targeting the exact same thing, you are getting value, you know, if they're picking off different squirrels, for example. And then also, if it's in that, like, we're going to trade hits on fox, obviously the 2 foxes, you'll kill the opponent's fox, which would absolutely just win you the game from there. But we're at the point in the game now where losing your tier 3 isn't as much as of the end of the world. Like, losing your tier 3 is only basically, well, that's game. You know, if you went for that rush out. You know, these are responsible foxes. These are foxes that are hitting the board 7:30 into the game. Yeah, double fox allows you to attack for 25 instead of 24, killing ferret fox in one shot. Yep, absolutely. Double fox is a lot better in fox versus fox matchup than it normally is. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. All right, let's see. Mishi's got some time before Pile's fox is up, but that balloon from Pile there really gonna stop Mishi for the time being. Mishi can still try to get up over here and poke and prod at Pile's army. The only problem with double fox, I feel like, is I don't think they stack as well as other tier 3 do. And then also, if they are target firing the same thing, you're wasting DPS, unless it's a unit that you're not going to one-shot. But in fox versus fox, it totally makes sense. Ooh, Mishi. Oh, Mishi gets the target fire down on Pile's fox. Well done by Mishi. That's always a difficult decision to make, man. I'm always very protective with my fox. Like, fox micro is interesting because you can't be target firing and keeping it safe at the same time. Ooh, and Pile gets the pick off on Mishi's fox there. Mishi probably wasn't expecting the second fox, but is Pile's fox boxed in? Oh man, 1 HP. Mishi's gonna start the chase. Is he gonna get it though? The pigeon's here to heal, I think. Oh, I thought those squirrels on the side flank might have got it, but Pile keeps his second fox alive for now. And with those pigeons to help heal it up, he's going to have it back in action in no time. But these mine hits! Oh my god, these mine hits! Yes! Oh my god, Mishi. Oh, did Pile just... Dude, Pile rage quit after that. I don't even know if it was a rage quit, though, because Mishi's army up top was really getting a whole lot of work done. See, advantage of 2 foxes, the quick backup fox. You guys are just making stuff up now. Oh, that was a great game. Alright. I didn't miss the first fox dead. I saw you get that first fox, my man, I think. Maybe I missed it. I probably did. I miss things from time to time. I apologize. Okay. What do we got? We got 20 more minutes, you guys. Let me see. I have a couple more Cold Warp Gate games here we can get into. We got that one. Okay, I need to download the rest of these Protocam games. Gotta find that email. Oh, okay. Do I have the Cold Warp Gate games? Okay, I do. I think. Yes, okay. Sorry, guys. Boom, it's this one. Oh. Okay. Guess I don't need to download all these right now. Protocam hooked me up with a stock, though. So we'll go into some of those. Please, I do insist, man. Submit me some replays for Thursday. I'm kind of low at the moment. Don't make me beg in Discord, guys. I really don't like doing that. We got another 2v2 from P-Boop here. Okay, so what can we do? We can do another Cold Warp Gate game. We can do this Protocam game. Maybe do another P-Boot match. And one more Protocam game. There we go. So 4 more replays. I think that should be about right. Hey, thanks for the follow, Weirweed. I appreciate it, man. Watch everyone not submit to watch Delthius beg. Listen, if you guys don't submit, man, I'll just sit here. I'll just show up to the show anyways and just talk and annoy everybody. All right. No chat. Bad chat. I gotta put a hold on that. Don't encourage him, P-Boop. Don't strike me on replays, man. I'd have to call in the big guns. I'd have to message Chip and Mishi and Pillow 8. And Amishri would send in anyways. See, look at that. Pillow 8. All-Star Grand Letter give you replays. I don't know how Delthius can whine about not having replays. When Pocketbot Cut happened yesterday, I know, man. Do we want to see the Pocketbot Cup finals? You guys want to watch that? I don't know. Figure out what you guys want to watch, man. Yes, I would, says Amistria. Oh, it's just sending me replays anyways, probably, and not the Pocketbot Cup finals. That's a mouthful for anyways. Anyways, guys, I'm getting too delirious here. Let's keep things moving. Cheese on cheese on cheese. Let's do it. Hey, Masta. You want to send me the Pocketbot Cup finals? We should all send Delthius the same replays, different file names. That would be good. Oh, man. I want this show to be over in 15 minutes, says P-Boop. Listen. All right, at the bottom right, we've got Saga. At the top left, we got Protocam. Dude, I would reverse troll you guys. Like, you can't embarrass me, man. I am immune to embarrassment. I would just go through every single match, and I would cast every single one, and I would pretend like I didn't notice. Ship first Meowkaiser, that'd be cool. All right, Protocam, a little bit of mole aggression here. Yeah, I think we'll do this one, guys, and I'll save the other replays I have, and maybe we'll do the Pocketbot Cup finals. So far, this mole is getting a lot of work done. Killed a building farm, killed a building turret. Now Protocam's this guy on the ladder now. He's a cannon rusher, man. Somebody's got to contact Printf. Dude, I saw Printf the other day in Discord, man. I'd love to see some Printf replays, man. Hello, all. This might be a dumb question, but am I able to submit a replay of a game I played on PS4? D-Shinra, yes, I believe so. I don't know how you go about accessing your replay files on PS4. You might want to talk to one of our Discord mods in the chat. One thing that I'm not so sure if it's super popular for the PS4. I know every community says this, but our Discord is like really, really lit, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Discord constantly, so if you're not in the Discord, man, get in the Discord. It's the best way to find out about events that are going on, you know, find out about all kinds of good stuff, and the developers and the moderators and stuff are normally really active. So you would have to get with Master Stealth, I would recommend, to ask about that, but I think, I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to access replay files on the PS4, right? I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Super lit. That's right, man. Dude, Protocam, speaking of lit, nice rush here. I think this is actually gonna work. It's really kind of crazy seeing him get the ferrets out so early, but it kind of adds insult to injury. And plus, Saga trying to get out his own ferrets are a bit countered by that. Okay. Okay, hang on, guys. Change of plans. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I have too many windows open. Boom, boom. Boom-a-loom. One second. My good peoples of the internet. Okay. Give me one secaroni and the pepperoni. We're gonna make this happen. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I got to disable my Discord sounds. All right, I am setting up the thing here for everybody. Oh man, I'm so good at speaking, you guys. Okay, so every Monday night there's a Pocketbot tournament, which is basically an automated tournament run by bots that Massive Stealth organizes. And then also, by the way, if you just got you and a group of buddies and you want to do a little tournament, you can kind of just get that going real easily. I'm pretty sure you can just start a Pocketbot anytime you want. Okay, hang on a second. I think I did something wrong. You guys. I apologize. Give me 1 second. One of these replays is only like 24 kilobytes. That can't be right because science. No, I guess it is right. That's really, really weird. That's really weird. I don't know if that's gonna work. I guess we'll find out. Won't we? Maybe it didn't unpack correctly or something. Raboomski. I hear my alerts going on, man. I will get to those in a second. Oh my god, I should be better at this. Okay, so this is a best of 5 finals. Anyway, so yeah, the Pocketbot goes on every Monday night. And then I'm pretty sure you can just kind of ask Massive Stealth to kick one off for you if you and your buddies want to just play a little tournament for fun. I think he even gives rewards in the form of our Discord currency for participating. So we've got Chip versus Meowkaiser, best of 5. Let us hop into it. Thank you for the follow Rouser roster. I had to think about that one for a second. I heard another thing too. Thanks for the follow, Deshinra. I appreciate it, man. You could just end the stream and host somebody. Hey now, we're ending the stream here in a minute. We're gonna do a couple matches, guys, and let's do it. Let's get into it. Match number 1 here. All right, spawning in the bottom, we've got Chip from Space, and his opponent up top, Meowkaiser. Skyraider streaming? I like Skyraider's playstyle. I need to get him on here to cast with me more, man. I really enjoyed casting with Skyraider. I need to cast with Pillow, man. I don't know if you're into that. Are you into that, Pillow? I figured if you're into that, you would have, like, told me by now. I don't know. You're kind of a hard guy to read. All right, speaking of reading people, what's going on in this game? Chip is running that kind of like, in my opinion, one of the best decks in the meta at the moment. Again, you can kind of swap Badger for Owl, Falcon for Ferret, if you please. And meanwhile, Meowkaiser is trying something a little different here with Squirrel Toad to deal with lizards. Got the snakes to deal with other tier 3. Gonna try to get up to the Owl behind turrets and artillery. So let's see how this game progresses. Meowkaiser actually changing up and going for the rush, but it looks like Chip was too. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I was distracted. I apologize, guys. I don't know who started this, but either way, they both responded. This is what I was kind of getting at earlier. Like, I lost against Chip in the Class S match because he went 6 farm double, and then I made the mistake of not scouting it. Like, typically it's kind of mapped out where you can scout this sort of thing when you see it. Like, if your opponent goes 6 farm double, you can cancel a couple farms and go 7 farm double, or 6 farm Warren, 7 farm Warren, you know, something like that. Or even maybe try to get away with just 1 farm Warren into 8 farms after that. But there are responses, and typically the responding player will come out ahead as long as they identify it and respond correctly, because they can kind of eke out that extra farm in the early game. G-Man's still awake, goodness. Dude, Gentleman is a madman. How much do you guys change decks between games? I just like to grind out games in one decks, but it feels like people swap a lot. It kind of depends. There's benefits to both. Like, there's a really big difference between builds and decks, and I try to kind of hammer in the vernacular of RTS games. Like, the build is the way that you're approaching the game, what build order you're going for, right? Like, the order in which you throw things down, that's what we're referring to when we say 6 farm double or 8 farm, 2 tier 1 into tier 2, things like that. And then you have your overall deck. So it's good, especially in a tournament environment, to have, I think a strong Tooth and Tail player should be good with like 3 different decks, I feel like. Chip did take this campfire over to the right and in the bottom. But there's also an argument to making to be made for running one deck. The problem with that is if your opponent realizes what you're doing, they can counter it, at least to some degree or another. So for example, I'm pretty well known for using Fox. I just really like to play with Fox. So most people will realize that, and there's kind of meta reading, right? So you play against Delthius on the ladder and you're like, hey, I know that Delthius likes using Fox. So then you're going to throw in things like balloons and mines and snakes and lizards and wolf to try to deal with my Fox. Owl. You know, so you can run into that situation if you just run the same deck over and over. But that doesn't always matter. Like, if you have a really strong deck, like Chip's deck, for example, here, is really not based on the map. Chip has a lot of different builds he can go about in this deck. And the Badger can be kind of swapped out for the Owl, just based on where he wants to be in that triad, right? Like, Badger beats Owl, Owl beats Fox, and Fox beats Badger, right? That's kind of how the Tier 3 breakdown goes. That's not, like, hard rules that always apply, but typically, you know, if I'm running Fox and I see my opponent as Badger, I'm very happy. Whereas if I see my opponent as Owl, I'm like, uh-oh. I need to do something and end the game. But yeah, it's rough. I mean, no deck is good against everything, right? Like, Chip's deck, for example, is pretty weak against Fox, I would say. He's got the balloon that can deal with that, but the rest of his units are pretty bad against Fox. But his deck is kind of designed to go after the Owl player. And speaking of Owls, man, Meowkaiser throwing down 2 Owls here. Ooh, but gonna sell them after Chip leaves. I like this a lot. Now gonna go for a lot of squirrels here and see if he can catch Chip off guard. Now Chip is ecoing up pretty hard, and Meowkaiser needs to end the game very, very soon. The problem here is that Chip does have the skunks, which are gonna do well against a lot of tier 1 regardless, but maybe if Meowkaiser can target fire down these skunks in the early early spots of the engagement, this might be better. But that skunk gas is absolutely amazing. Meowkaiser does a good job target firing down those skunks, but the damage is already done there, and Chip takes a nice engagement. He needs to be careful though. This is going to be a hard choke to actually push through and in the game, but he's still got these falcons here. If Chip can keep these falcons alive, one goes down, that's really good for Meowkaiser. Meowkaiser trying to chase and get that other falcon on the back end of this, but Chip pulls out at the right time. So yeah, Meowkaiser really wants to end this game because he doesn't have access to a third base on this map, whereas Chip has access to 4. Yeah, exactly. Mishi also saying Pillow played the same deck versus me all 5 games. Like, that is very true. It's good to be... It's best case scenario to be proficient with several decks, but there's definitely a case to be made to where you just master one deck. That's, you know, Like, my matches against Chip, I basically ran the same deck over and over. Because I wasn't really winning or losing the matches because of my deck, if that makes sense. You know, they had to do different things. If I scouted, like, a couple of my losses were due to scouting. One of them was due to map gen. Chip takes the match. Very nice. I like the play from Meowkaiser to try to sell off the Owls after Chip, you know, took him, or scouted him there. But the Skunks made that really difficult for Meowkaiser. I wonder if Meowkaiser might have been better off trying to just barely get those Owls out. But then he might have lost to that big engagement, so who knows. But yeah, I definitely 100% agree with Mishi. There is an argument to be made of just getting really good with one deck. Like, Chip basically played the same deck against me in our Class S matches. He changed up just those couple of units, you know, swapping out Falcon for Ferret or Owl for Badger. Chet Erickson on the stream mentioned he played the same deck in his 5 matches, so you will see the higher level players, you know, sometimes running this similar stuff. I think Gentleman is kind of really well known for his variety of decks. I think Pile is too. Match number 2, guys. But I think that's the scariest player. So spawning in the bottom left, we've got Chip. And his opponent to the top right, Meowkaiser. Like, I feel like Meowkaiser is scary in this series because you don't know what to expect from him, you know? Like, he just changed up his deck very dramatically from last game, whereas Chip took the same thing. But it's rough because, like, a deck that is so solid as Chip's is, even if you know what it is, that doesn't necessarily mean you can stop it. Like, if you follow StarCraft, I watch esports religiously, man. That's the reason I run this channel and cast in Tooth and Tail, because I'm a very big fan of casting of video games and stuff like that. But I watch StarCraft a lot, man, and one of the troublesome things for Zerg right now is Protoss has a very, very powerful all-in attack they can do with Zealot speed upgrade and some Archons, so Zerg is in a rough spot where it's like, well, even if I know that's coming, that's still a damn good attack, you know what I mean? Like, still hard to deal with. So Chip's kind of got that going for him, where even if you can hammer in what Chip is up to, like, this is a hard deck to deal with. Squirrel Pitch and Skunk is phenomenal in the early game. And if the map allows it for Chip, he can throw down a balloon or two and really gear up on some macro, some Falcons, get out the Badger, things like that. Did you just say Zealot? Yeah, man, my accent. Are you one of the guys that says Zealot? I think Zealot is the correct pronunciation. It's 2018, you can pronounce Zealot. When I was a kid, I used to say Zealot. But that's wrong. I'm pretty positive Zealot. Or maybe it's Zealot. It's probably Zealot. Let me see. Let's find out, guys. How to say Zealot. Oh, hopefully this isn't super loud.
Zealot.
Zealot. Yep, that's what I guess.
Zealot.
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 Zell isn't Bell. Zealot. Zealot. That's how you say it, guys. Dude, it's just my accent, man. I'm a southerner. I don't say woof right, apparently. I say woof instead of wolf. I guess you gotta really try to pronounce that L. Where it really shines out, like, I don't feel like I have that big of an accent, but I think everybody kind of feels that way about themselves. Like, if I told you guys I was from Colorado or something like that, would you be super surprised? Nice attack here from Chip. And I think he's actually starting to get too much damage done. This defender's advantage is helping out for Meowkaiser. But I think Chip might have too much. He is overextending a little bit, so Meowkaiser is going to gain a couple extra squirrels there. Chip kind of realizes the error in his way. Backs up for now, but he's going to keep this aggression on. Worst caster ever. Dude, I know, I'm pretty bad. Alright. Chip moving in. Zell isn't Bell. I wasn't saying the Zell part wrong. I was saying the lot. Like, I was saying or maybe it's Zealot. Yeah, I guess I was saying it all completely wrong. So Chip with some a really quick game, a lot of early aggression off the back of a rough start from Meowkaiser there. Takes the match. I should have been paying more attention. I got caught up in how to say Zealot. Okay, where my southern accent really comes through is weekend. Like I just became aware that I say that like a year ago. Like, what are you guys doing for the weekend? Like that's a southern accent, right? Weekend? It's weekend. But does anyone actually say weekends? Like weekend? Like I weakened your skeleton creature. Weekend. Yeah, man, I say weekend. You guys got any plans this weekend? Yeah, that's totally southern, right? I think so. Most people say weekend, so I don't really notice it, at least where I live. All right, match number 3, guys. Meowkaiser really needs a win here. See, this match was only like 24 kilobytes, which makes no sense to me, but apparently the size doesn't necessarily... Yeah, see? See what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, what happened in match number 3? Did Meowkaiser just rage quit? I think that's it, guys. Sick game. What are you saying all weekend? What are you guys doing on the weekend, man? Got any plans Saturday night? Yeah, it's weekend. I know it's weekend. I know I'm saying it wrong. It's just one of those things. Dude, Meowkaiser must have just rage quit. He must have been like, man, I'm down 2 games. I don't know. I think that's it, guys. I think we had a good show tonight, though. A lot of fun, man. I got everybody talking about weekends, so that's good. Okay. Did we see cheese on cheese? Can't remember, man. I'm pretty tired. I'll throw these back over here. Boom, boom. Chip hacking the cup. We saw cheese on cheese. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes my memory is failing me. Alright. Alright, guys. That is it for the show. What are we going to do now? We got somebody else streaming the old Tooth and Tail Ronies. We got some Sky Raider. What are we going to say to Sky Raider? Wait, so did that? I don't know. I guess that was it. Yeah, Chip wins. First time catching my show live. Thank you for the good... Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. If that Shinra is a Final Fantasy VII reference, tip of the hat, by the way. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we gotta say we can. Okay. We can. Or maybe space we can? I don't know. You guys figure it out. Let's raid Sky Raider. Let's show them how we say we can, you guys. Take care, everybody. Make sure to send me games for real. Send me some games, ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. Pretty please, for Thursday night show. And that's it. See y'all later. I always forget the stream doesn't actually end until we all agree to raid. Let's raid them, boys. Time for the weekend. Weekend on a Tuesday night. Oh yeah. He's gonna be like, why are people saying weekend? He's not gonna get it at all. I guarantee you he doesn't get it.